Well, there's no doubt about it. The last 2 weekends have been really tough on us as far as wins and loss goes. We're just going into one of those stretches of the season where I think we're getting tested in a lot of different ways. Tested in our depth, especially in the circle. We're also getting tested in our belief in what we do on a daily basis. Because with a lot of times where we're being weak is the process and trusting it and doing the things that we do in practice. And we're seeing different players show up on game day in not a good way than we see in practice. And so I think the heat of the moment is getting us into some bad habits, going back to some bad habits that we definitely broke out of in the offseason. The first 2 weekends of the year, mostly offensively, we were swinging the bats great. A lot of confidence, getting a lot of positive results. Really doing a great job of having quality at-bats every time we walked up to the plate. As we've gotten farther into the season, the last 2 weeks, we're seeing some of those bad habits being created, and because of bad results is where we're going back to these bad habits. And so we're in a stretch right now where we're getting tested, and we're going to go back to some basics this week in the cages and try to get some of that mechanical confidence back. And make sure that we're sound in our base and keep doing what we're doing defensively, because we're right there. We're making all the routine plays now. We're just missing a couple of extra effort plays defensively that could win some of those one-run ball games for us. Yesterday was a great example. We had 3 plays where if we make them, they're not routine, but if we make them, they're difference makers in the games, and we come out on top. So we're right there defensively. Chelsea Ross has done a phenomenal job in the circle for us, set her career record. Set it and broke it this weekend once against the number 11 team in the country against Tennessee. We had a chance to win that game. We had them on the ropes and really did a great job. Out-hit them, outplayed them, really deserved to win that ball game. And also against North Dakota State this last weekend, we were down 4-0, and for the first time all year we really battled back and we're in a really tough spot and found a way to get back and tie that game up. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hold them in their half of the inning, but did a great job of scrapping back. So there's some really bright spots that we can build off of. I'm not sure that we're ready for conference play in my eyes, but it's that time of year, and we've got to be ready to go against one of the best teams in the league this weekend against Illinois State. Their record's a lot like ours. I know that Coach Fisher does a great job of scheduling really tough early in the season, and typically this time of the year, their schedule will reflect that tough schedule, but it really prepares them for the league, and they do a great job in the league. So we know what we're up against this first weekend. For me, it's just really getting back to doing some of the basic things this week and getting ourselves right, getting our minds right, and getting confident for this weekend. Any questions?
How are you getting that, getting ready for the conference? You said, as you just said, you weren't sure you're getting ready for conference, but obviously it's here to get ready to start for that.
Yeah, I don't think it's physically that we're not ready. It's just mentally we're kind of beat up right now, and we've got a group of kids that really focus on the results, and we've been trying to get them out of that mindset of living and dying on every pitch. And we want to focus one pitch at a time, but we don't want to live and die one pitch at a time, and that's where they're at right now, and we've got to get them out of that mindset. And I think going back to some basic things and going back to some of the drills that we started to do in the fall that we might have got away from a little bit, we need to go back to that and get their minds thinking a little bit more simple and a little bit more about the things that really matter rather than the results that we really can't control all the time.
Do you think a lot of the games that you've had that game were called off because the weather have a lot to do with that too this year?
I think it might have hurt us a little bit the 1 week where we had to sit at home. Last weekend when we were in Orlando, we kind of scrambled to get those games in. It was a need that we played the games, and I think the layoff definitely hurt us. But we were right there in every ball game. It was one of those things where I don't think it affected us to the point where we were, it wasn't a level playing field. There's a lot of teams down there that it was their first weekend out. They had the same type of situation as us. So, I just think we're right there. And like I said, I think we're getting tested. to see if we're going to stick with it, and there is something good going to happen to us if we stick with it and we stay with it. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. That's the test. Thank you.